follow traffic, clear visual approach, runway 4 right, maintain 17, John Austin, 5 mile final. 17 till 5 hours.
Welcome to this Flight Plan Extra with NBAA President and CEO Ed Bolen. I'm Rob Finfrock, and we're coming to you from the 2024 NBAA Leadership Conference in Palm Springs, California. Ed, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat during what's been an exciting, inspirational, and I understand even record-setting event.
Well, thank you, Rob, and it is exciting to be here at this leadership conference in Palm Springs. We have had a remarkable lineup of leaders sharing insights on leadership skills and techniques, and just a great turnout of people who are committed to learning what they can to be great leaders for this great industry.
And I know that business aviation value is always at the center of the leadership conference and this conversation. That's no less true this year, I'm sure. Tell me a bit about what you're hearing from attendees.
Well, what we're hearing is that companies of all sizes all across the United States are relying on business aviation to get people where they need to be when they need to be there, and to do it safely, securely, and sustainably. So we're hearing a lot of stories about being able to visit 3 cities in one day as opposed to 1 city in 3 days. We're hearing about people that are using the time to discuss proprietary information without fear of eavesdropping. So basically what we are understanding, particularly in an environment where the airlines have cut back some of their schedules, that business aviation is oftentimes the best way to accomplish a mission, sometimes the only way to do it. And so that inherent value in business aviation is very much being utilized today.
So people do often wonder why people wouldn't just use the airlines to get where they need to go. And I think you've just provided 3 or 4 good reasons and good answers to that question.
Well, airlines are enormously important, an important mode of transportation, and oftentimes they make a lot of sense. They are the best way to travel. But there are other missions where it is not possible to meet the goals of the mission through commercial aviation. And business aviation is an efficient, safe, secure, and increasingly sustainable way to get those missions done.
I know that some people also question why companies might even allow key employees to have access to their aircraft, even for non-business use. What are your thoughts on that, Ed?
Well, a number of companies, in fact, the majority of business aviation flights do not have people from the C-suite on board. They're oftentimes moving customers to meet them, flying parts out, but increasingly they're recognizing that in order to attract, develop, and retain individuals, they have to be able to make sure that they have work-life balance. That means being on the road, doing necessary business, but also trying to get people back to be part of the company's culture, but also to have some work-life balance so people can be present with their families and be part of important life events. And this is a tool that helps them demonstrate their commitment to both their professional lives and their personal lives.
And Ed, as we know, it seems the news environment routinely features one or several headlines about business aviation and sustainability. We even see some flight tracking to feed a movement called flight shaming. But the whole story is that this industry is taking significant steps to cut carbon emissions. Can you walk us through some of that?
Business aviation is on a mission to net zero emissions. We began going toward net zero emissions with a commitment that was expressed many years ago, and is something that I think people need to understand, that business aviation has long been an incubator for sustainable technologies. Over the last 4 decades, business aviation has reduced its environmental footprint by 40%. Each new model of aircraft that comes out is up to 35% more efficient than the model it is replacing. Most importantly, today, business aviation is fostering sustainable aviation fuels, electric propulsion, hydrogen propulsion. We are also promoting the use of optimal flight levels, lean manufacturing tools that reduce emissions, and also providing an opportunity and encouraging people to offset their emissions with high quality offsets.
That's all very helpful to know, Ed. Thank you. And let's make sure we don't wrap this conversation up without reminding listeners that the business aviation community is taking concrete policy actions to support the aim of net zero by 2050. Can you give us a couple of examples of what's happening in the policy arena on this issue?
Well, sustainable aviation fuel is a key tool in our movement toward net zero emissions. And so we are working hard to make sure that we have policies that facilitate the production and the distribution of sustainable aviation fuel. Recognition for tax credits for producers and ways to make sure that companies are able to access sustainable aviation fuel. So when we look at what an individual or company can do today, it is combining high quality carbon offsets, utilizing sustainable aviation fuel, investing in technologies on the ground and in the air that will allow them to reduce their carbon footprint. As I said before, we have a long history of delivering results. We're investing huge amounts of money in new technologies that will make planes more efficient, helping with sustainable fuels and new propulsion systems. This is something that our industry has been very focused on. We've delivered results today, and we will deliver on our promise of net zero by 2050.
And Ed, NBAA launched a new initiative with the industry last fall to help educate the general public about these steps that business aviation is taking to reach net zero by 2050. Tell us about Climbing Fast.
Well, climbingfast.com is a website where there's enormous information on business aviation and its track record on reducing its environmental footprint, what is being done today, and how we are going to achieve our mission of being net zero by 2050. Climbing Fast is specifically named so that people know we're moving forward. Climbing is aviation's term for forward motion, and we're doing it with a sense of urgency. We're moving fast. We're fostering aviation sustainability and technologies. And so this is a place where people can see the investments that are being done, have their questions answered about how they can fly more sustainably today, and all the things we are doing as a community to reach that net zero emissions goal by 2050.
Well, thanks for that, Ed, and we really appreciate your time at this very busy leadership conference. And this is probably a good moment to also remind listeners that you can get all the facts, see what's being done on business aviation sustainability, and learn what you can do at climbingfast.com. Ed, again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate your having a podcast for us on this important topic.
6 miles right base, sending out 3500.
We got him inside. We're slowing back to 170, coming 5.